Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a visit to the Tiger Reserve and Kaziranga National Park. This is the nation's PM's first visit to a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On a two-day tour to the state, he arrived at Kaziranga on Friday night. He continued on to Arunachal Pradesh, where he launched the Sela Tunnel and other 55,600 crores worth of northeastern development projects. In the afternoon, he is supposed to dedicate the 125-foot-tall Statue of Valor, honoring the great Ahom general Lakit Barphukan in Jorhat. Subsequently, the Prime Minister will travel to Meleng Metelipotar, situated in the Jorhat district, to officially launch and lay the foundation stones for state and central projects valued at over Rs 18,000 crore. Rameshwaram Cafe in Bengaluru, Karnataka, resumed business on March 9th, a few days after the devastating explosion. Customers waited in a lengthy line outside the cafe when it opened to the public despite strict security protocols. The cafe authority, according to co-founder Raghvendra Rao, is trying to bolster the security unit. This fatal explosion happened on March 1st at the cafe in the Whitefield neighborhood of Bengaluru. The bomber's identity and any relevant information regarding the incident are the subject of a Rs 10 lakh bounty issued by the NIA on March 6th. According to police investigations thus far, the explosion was caused by an IED device that had a timer. The 73-year-old Sudha Murthy is wed to N.R. Narayana Murthy. The wealthy co-founder of the multinational technology company Infosys has been nominated to the upper house of India's parliament. Prime Minister Mr. Sunak, who was married to their daughter Akshata, took office in 2022. The majority of the members of India's upper house are chosen by election, but the president appoints 12 of them, typically strong performers, to the body for a 6-year tenure. The nomination, according to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is a prime example of Nari Shakti or women's power, demonstrating the ability and strength of women to shape the future of our country. Mr. Modi praised Ms. Murthy for her enormous and inspirational contributions to a variety of disciplines such as social service, philanthropy, and education. In order to campaign in the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections, actor and politician Kamal Hassan's Makkal Niti Mayam joined the DMK-led alliance on Saturday, the party declared. It added that it had won one seat in the Rajya Sabha elections of 2025. This occurred in the midst of rumors that Hassan's party would receive seats to run in the parliamentary elections. After the announcement, Kamal told reporters in Chennai that his party joined the DMK-led alliance for the good of the nation, not for the position. The two leaders have agreed that M&M will carry out campaign-related operations in the 39 Lok Sabha constituencies in Tamil Nadu and the single Puducherry sector. Meanwhile, insiders close to Stalin's party predicted that the DMK and the Congress would close their agreement on seat distribution by Saturday night. The Indian government has cleared a proposal for 34 new Dhruv military-grade choppers. Reports said 9 of these will be inducted in the Indian Coast Guard, while the rest will go to the Indian Army. The helicopters would be manufactured by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and seen as a major push towards indigenization, with the deal estimated to be worth over Rs 8,000 crores. Sources familiar with the matter said the Dhruv choppers will replace the Indian Coast Guard's old light utility helicopters, while the Indian Army would be using them in multiple roles. The Dhruv, known as the Advanced Light Helicopter, is a multi-role new generation chopper in the 5.5-ton weight class, designed for multiple roles in combat and non-combat situations. On Saturday morning, authorities claimed a fire started on the third floor of the multi-story Madhya Pradesh State Office building here. They added that there were no injuries recorded from the incident. Around 9:30 a.m., some sanitation employees at the Secretariat building, officially known as Vallabh Bhawan, discovered smoke. The fire department was then notified, according to sources. The firefighters have contained the fire and more work is being done. The documents have been stored on the third story, and the only thing coming from there now is smoke. The fire officer of Bhopal Municipal Corporation is Rameshwar Neil. 15 to 20 fire tenders have been called into action. According to the sources, the smoke was discovered by some sanitation workers who were working close to the Secretariat complex's gates number 5 and 6. They then notified the authorities. At the Isha Yoga Center in Coimbatore on Friday, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and his spouse Sudesh Dhankar were the honored guests during the Mahashivratri celebrations. Dhankar expressed gratitude to Sadhguru for his efforts, saying, "You inspire young people to not only practice yoga, but to take yoga to all corners of the world." R.N. Ravi, the governor of Tamil Nadu, Indrasena Reddy, the governor of Tripura, Banwarilal Purohit, the governor of Punjab, and L. Murugan were also present on the occasion. Thousands of devotees from different nations also took part in the Mahashivaratri celebrations. The Apollo Hospital in Delhi introduced ZapX technology on March 8th. This cutting-edge device is intended to cure brain tumors in 30-minute sessions. Apollo claims that the non-invasive brain tumor care therapy consists of 30-minute sessions that promote quick healing. With the help of technology, patients can receive day care and return home after their treatment without the need for anesthesia. On the other hand, hospital stays of 4 to 7 days or longer are necessary for standard surgery. According to Dr. Sudhir Tyagi, a neurosurgeon at Apollo Hospital, if an MRI reveals that a patient has a large tumor and swelling, emergent surgery is performed to initially minimize the swelling. After the patient's condition improves, ZapX treatment is used to ensure that the remaining tumor doesn't grow. This device uses a lot of radiation to operate. Reports say a humanitarian airdrop in the northern part of the Palestinian territory of Gaza has killed 5 people and wounded 10. The incident happened when parachutes that were attached to the aid cargo did not open and crashed over people assembled on the ground. According to a medical staff at the Al-Sheikh hospital, the biggest in the territory, the fatal airdrop happened north of the Al-Shati refugee camp along the coast. The US and Jordan are among a number of nations that have conducted airdrops in northern Gaza, where hundreds of thousands of civilians are living in appalling conditions following over 5 months of conflict. A news organization quoting a Jordanian military source said that the country was not involved in Friday's fatal drop. This weekend, a ship loaded with much-needed humanitarian goods is scheduled to depart for Gaza within the next few days. The Spanish ship Open Arms is expected to sail from Cyprus, the EU nation nearest Gaza, with the intention of taking advantage of a recently created sea channel. It's still uncertain where the ship will land when it gets to Gaza because there isn't a working port and the waters are shallow. According to the UN, children in the Strip are starving to death, and a fifth of the population is at risk of starvation. According to reports, a group from the World Central Kitchen has been constructing a pier at the location to accept the assistance. The organization will be able to distribute the meals because it has 60 kitchens spread over Gaza. The former president of the Maldives, Mohammed Nasheed, has expressed worries over a row with India and the subsequent fallout. According to reports, Nasheed, who is on a visit to India, apologized on behalf of his people. His comments come a day after India pulled out some of its troops in the Maldives and replaced them with civilian technicians to maintain a handful of its aircraft deployed to the island. The president of Maldives, Mohammed Muizzu, who is seen as favoring China, issued a deadline for the 80 Indian military personnel to leave the country. There are growing concerns the row will affect the revenue from tourism in the wake of a backlash in India, where calls have grown for a boycott of the island, which has been a hit with the Indians. Vivek Ramaswamy expressed his opposition to the TikTok ban, claiming that criticizing the social media network based in China is simple. Realizing the problem is more difficult, he came out in favor of Donald Trump, pointing out that the former president was correct to oppose a legislative ban. He also criticized other Republican candidates, claiming that many people in professional politics simply say what is expected of them without considering the reasons behind their statements. Speaking out against the ban, Ramaswamy stated that the government ought to prohibit any US company that actually transfers US data to the Chinese. Nikki Haley has been criticized by Ramaswamy for using the app, but he pointed out that her daughter also uses it and that she ought to prioritize her family. China is the greatest danger the United States faces, according to Ron DeSantis, who also said that TikTok is polluting the minds of American youth. According to a report, a 22-year-old Pakistani student was found guilty of blasphemy over WhatsApp conversations and given the death penalty. According to a court this week in the Punjab province of Pakistan, the student received a death sentence for images and videos that included disparaging remarks about the Prophet Muhammad. A 17-year-old student was reportedly sentenced to life in prison rather than the death penalty due to his status as a minor. In Pakistan, there is a death penalty for blasphemy. Though many accused have been lynched by enraged mobs, no one has been put to death by the state as a result of it thus far. More than 80 Christian homes and 19 churches in Pakistan were vandalized last year. Those were the top stories at this hour. Do join us, same time Monday, and have a great weekend.